Some of the roads in our city and state don't look very good, and they feel even worse. A new study shows those bumpy roadways are also doing a number on our cars financially. WSFA 12 News reporter Hannah Lane is joining us now with the details. And Hannah, it is both a financial and a safety problem.
Right, Mark. Experts say the state has a higher number of traffic fatalities than the national average. And when it comes to costs for drivers, it may surprise you. Alabama motorists spend more than $3 billion every year. And experts say if the federal government doesn't act soon, it's only going to get worse.
You feel it day in and day out, driving down the road. Uneven pavement, potholes, narrow lanes. And it's not just the rough ride. Deteriorated conditions are also costing you a pretty penny. A new report estimates $1,218 every year.
I never honestly really took the time to think about it. I just drive back and forth to work and school. So now that I think about that, it's kind of not good for our cars or our pockets.
Montgomery is the capital of Alabama. I'm kind of not depressed, but I am shocked on how poor the conditions can be.
Experts with TRIP, a national transportation research group, took a look at the roads and bridges conditions throughout the state, including Montgomery. For the capital city, they found just under half, about 45% of major roads are either in poor or mediocre condition. The rough roads tend to take a toll on your vehicles and your time. In fact, researchers found traffic congestion is worsening, causing on average 29 hours of delay annually for Montgomery drivers.
Drivers do lose a lot of money having to fix their cars, flat tires to bent rims and things of those sorts. So I'm shocked.
Experts say currently the state and local municipalities are doing the best they can to improve the roads, but they need federal funding to make ends meet. Congress just acted to extend both the federal trust fund spending and the federal transportation legislation. However, according to some, an 8-month extension isn't enough.
They've only come up with a Band-Aid, essentially. And because of that, states aren't able to plan for long-term projects and large-scale projects because they simply don't know what kind of funding they can expect from the federal government.
Now, here along Norman Bridge, there has been definite improvement. City leaders tell us Montgomery does have a 5-year plan to improve roads and bridges like this one. And the plan includes more than just pavement, but complete street improvements. And leaders hope with these improvements, it will enhance the quality of life along with improve and hopefully promote economic growth. Mark.
All right, Hannah Lane reporting live tonight. Thank you. When it comes to bridges, there are a total of 23% in the state that do not meet modern design standards, but engineers insist that they are okay. Earlier this year, the 12 News Defenders investigated the worst roads in Montgomery. You can read that report, which includes a list of the roads scheduled to be paved in the coming year. Look for the Ugly Roads link on the 12 News Defenders page of WSFA.com.
A new report highlighted today by Caltrans suggests that potholes, traffic jams, and unsafe roads are costing every driver in the Bay Area thousands of dollars a year. KTVU's Ken Pritchett live in Berkeley tonight with just how much people are spending because of the bad roads. Ken?
Well, Frank, according to this new report, the Bay Area is second only to Los Angeles when it comes to deficient roadways in California, and that covers more than just roads that are in disrepair. A crash in Interstate 80 in Berkeley that looks to be about 3 feet long. Many roads in the Bay Area could use some work.
The roads in San Francisco are a little bit bumpy, so they make my car an uncomfortable ride.
And the daily wait and congested traffic costs time and money.
It's pretty bad.
Take traffic congestion, roads in need of repair, and add the number of crashes in which road conditions were a factor, and you have a major cost for all drivers, according to TRIP, a national transportation research group. The TRIP report says in San Francisco and Oakland, bad roads cost the average driver more than $2,200 a year. In San Jose, it's more than $1,700.
New tires, gas, by just sitting in traffic, so I can understand why the number's high.
Well, it's a waste of time when you're sitting in the car, but I'm sort of used to it.
The TRIP report finds that 49% of major roads in San Francisco and Oakland are rated in poor condition and 30% are mediocre. Statewide, 28% of bridges show significant deterioration or don't meet modern standards. Caltrans says despite the report, California highways are in the best condition in 10 years and that it has adopted a fix-it-first policy, as every dollar in maintenance saves $10 in future repairs.
They should. They should fix the roads. I don't want bumpy roads, you know.
Highway advocates point to this report and say that that they certainly need more federal and state funding. Without that funding, the road conditions will get worse. In particular, they point to Congress, which they say needs to create a long-term and stable source of funding to fix and repair our highways. In Berkeley, Ken Pritchett, KTVU, Channel 2 News.
Startling numbers released today about the amount of money Californians spend on congested and bad roads out there. A transportation advocacy group says an extra $44 billion is spent every year on repairs and accidents and time and fuel burned sitting in traffic. NBC4's Conan Nolan live in Burbank with more on that, the report, and what it means for you. Conan.
Well, Colleen, this was put together by a group called Qtr Research out of Washington. They're financed by insurance companies, construction businesses, as well as labor unions, all of whom would benefit by more money being spent on roadways. But they say it's not about that. It's about what you pointed out. How much money is being wasted by Southern California motorists navigating California's dilapidated roadways? The report says that 65% of California's major roadways are in poor condition, 24% are mediocre, and with that comes a hidden tax.
It would be cheaper for people to pay to fix our aging system than paying the extra costs of driving on bad roads.
The research group attempted to calculate the annual cost per motorist of wasted productivity due to traffic delays, wasted fuel, repairs from pothole damage, and roadway-caused accidents. LA County and its surroundings came in first at $2,485 per motorist, followed by the San Francisco Bay Area and San Diego. And while there have been improvements, such as the carpool lane now being built from Orange County to Santa Clarita, much of that money came from stimulus funds from Washington, which will soon dry up.
How are we going to continue to make progress? Because we're obviously not there, and it comes down to the adequate funding to accomplish that mission.
Caltrans Director Malcolm Dougherty says the gas tax collected at the pump no longer helps pay for road maintenance the way it once did.
Partly because of electric cars, partly because of fuel efficiency. In addition to that, it hasn't been changed in 20 years, and the buying power is probably half what it was in 1992 when it was last adjusted.
But a hike in the gas tax would not come easy and would be impossible, says some tax groups, particularly while the state is contemplating billions on a controversial bullet train. John Copal of the Howard Jarvis Taxpayers Association.
High-speed rail is the epitome of a mega project that's simply not ready for prime time.
One of the groups affiliated with this report, called California Transportation, endorses high-speed rail for the same reason, saying it would be good for construction jobs. In Burbank, Conan Nolan, NBC4 News.
Driving through the Pioneer Valley can be a rough ride. 22 News reveals how those rough roads are costing you money.
Popping a tire, damaging your car. There's a lot of bad roads out here.
Maybe even more than you think. The national research group TRIP found 87% of major Springfield area roads are in either poor or mediocre condition.
You have a lot of congestion because your highway and transit system can't provide adequate mobility. And also, in many cases, unfortunately, you don't have the traffic safety features on your roads that you would like to see to keep people safe.
And the group came up with a startling statistic. The average Springfield area driver spends more than $1,600 a year in extra costs because of poor road conditions. Residents also worry about safety.
You could lose control. You could crash into a building, crash into a guardrail, crash into pretty much anything.
Road repairs are funded by the taxes you pay on gas. That's why the group Transportation for Massachusetts told 22 News this upcoming election will play a big role in when and if the rough roads get fixed.
If the voters reject proposition, question 1 on election day, that'll add up to $5 per year per driver, but it adds up to a lot of roads and bridges that we'll be able to repair.
So come election time, if you vote yes on ballot question 1, you are voting to repeal the state's automatic gas tax. Although that could save you money at the pumps, it could mean less money for the state and less money to fix our roads. Elections are just 2 weeks away. We explain ballot question 1 in detail on our website.